into people with her chair and cooler. "You came!" Betsy exclaimed, standing up and making room for her. "I told you I would," Johanna said, forcing a smile. She was already crabby, as she felt sweat trickle between her shoulder blades. "Yes, but you're late. It started a half hour ago." Johanna shrugged, opened her chair, and shoved her cooler under it. "Hello, Janice. Hot enough for you?" Janice laughed at Joe's usual comment and introduced her to the others sitting with them. "This is Carrie and Shay," she said, pointing to two older women sitting next to her. "I'm sure you've heard me mention them." "Yes," Joe said and smiled. "And that's Lucy." She motioned toward a younger woman who looked up and smiled, then turned her attention back to the game. "Lucy works with Deb," Janice explained. "I haven't seen Deb in ages," she said, plopping unceremoniously into her chair. Her eyes closed against the heat. "God, I could be sitting in the water right now," she murmured. "Oh, give me a break," Betsy said. "It's not that hot." 95 in June's not even half over. What's August gonna be like? 100, like always, she said. Reaching under Johanna's chair, she took a beer from the ice and handed it to her. "Here, cool off." "Thanks." Joe twisted the top off the bottle, drank nearly half of it, then rubbed the cold bottle on her face. "Oh, that's so good," she sighed. "Yeah." "So what's the score?" she asked. "We're up by 1. Janice replied and yelled at Cindy to get a hit. Betsy and Janice had never played softball. In fact, Joe doubted Janice had ever played any sport. Nevertheless, they made every softball game, and Betsy jokingly referred to themselves as a team's mascot. They made an odd duo, Janice short and pudgy, Betsy tall and thin with a head full of red curls. But they were the happiest couple Joe had ever met, still going strong after 13 years. Joe turned her attention to the game. She knew nearly everyone on the team. Not that she made that many games, but they had been playing together for years, and since they were all friends of Betsy's, she had been out with them before. A few of the regular members couldn't make the tournament, and Joe knew Christy had come in from San Antonio to play. "Is Kay playing?" Johanna asked. Kay was a friend of hers from college, who she had introduced to Betsy years ago. "She's playing second today," Betsy said. "Christy brought someone along with her from San Antonio to play third." Christy was Betsy's cousin, and despite that, they were good friends. Betsy looked at her and frowned. "Didn't you bring a cap?" "No," she said, squinting her blue eyes against the sun. "I left without sunscreen, too. Do you have any?" "I do," Janice offered, reaching into her bag for the sunblock. "God, it's hell getting old, isn't it?" Johanna flicked her a wry glance and opened the tube. "I mean, remember when we would stay out for hours and not even think about wrinkles?" "Skin cancer, Janice," Joe told her. "Not wrinkles." "There was no such thing as sunscreen when we were young. I'm sure the damage is already done." "What do you mean, when we were young?" Betsy asked with a laugh. "I'm nearly 40, if you'll remember. My days of youth are past." "You've been nearly 40 for 3 years," Joe teased. "Yeah, well, this time it's for real," she said. Betsy winked at Johanna. 3 more months, she said quietly. "That's how long we'll have to listen to it." Cindy smacked a fly ball out to center field, and the inning was over. Joe spotted Kay as she headed to second base and waved at her. "I haven't seen Kay in a while," she said. "Well, if you would come out with us more, you would," Betsy retorted. "You know I don't go to the bar during the semester." "Everyone knows you're gay. What's the big deal?" "I just would hate to run into one of my students there." The players ran to their positions, and her eyes followed a woman she didn't know. The woman was tall and lean and very tan. Joe watched as she jogged to third base. Pulling her cap off, the stranger ran her fingers through her short, dark hair, brushing it away from her face. She was very dark. One of those people who had a tan no matter what time of year it was. One of those people Johanna had always been jealous of. She had to work at her tan, being so blonde and blue-eyed. The woman pulled the cap back on her head and kicked dirt with her foot. She pounded her glove with her hand, then crouched in the ready position while Johanna stared at her. "God, she's cute," she thought. "That's Kelly Sambino," Betsy said, following her gaze. "Who?" Joe asked innocently. "Third base." "Oh." She pulled her eyes away, embarrassed. She had never been one to stare. Sharon, the pitcher, was the youngest member of the team, not yet 30, and she turned around, making sure